Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verses 10 through 21. The Lord says to Jeremiah, when you speak my word to my people and they're confused, they're so oblivious because of their sin, because their worldview is not about God, but about themselves. And they can't see the obvious. And they ask, why? Oh my gosh, why has the Lord decreed such things against us? What have we done? Oh my gosh, what sins have we committed? He says, I want you to tell them why God's blessing has been removed. And this is back in verse 5. The shalom, the peace of God, the steadfast love of God, and the mercy of God. We take these things for granted, but there is no peace, there is no love, and there is no mercy outside the presence of God. Humanity by itself cannot have these things. And so where there is sin, where there is an absence of faith in God, all there is death. And sort of the first part of chapter 16 is about this funeral. So he goes on to say, why? What have you done? I'll tell you what. Your ancestors, they abandoned me. They served and worshiped other gods and did not keep my ways. And guess what? You upped the ante. You're even more wicked, more stubborn. You're more about obeying your evil hearts instead of me, more so than your parents and your ancestors. You folks are out of your minds. You're oblivious to your own sin. And so he says, I'm going to throw you out of the land. Now, you have to recognize what he means by that is to throw them out of the promise into an unknown land, a foreign land, to serve unknown and foreign gods. You want foreign gods? Here you go. You can have that, is basically what God is saying. That they're going to have no favor from God, right? Show in verse 13. And really that they're not going to have Yahweh. The things that they assume, the peace, the love, the mercy, and the other blessings, they come because God is there. They take that for granted. And so here, go ahead and trust false gods who can do nothing for you, who cannot save you. So verse 14, the days are coming. What days are coming? This is sort of like a yeah, but God. This is the gospel. The days are coming when I'm going to do an even greater miracle than when I first did a miracle to make them Israel. I'm going to bring them home. After I punish them and exile them, I'm going to bring them back home. I'm going to restore them. And as it says, but now I'm going to send fishermen. Where else do we hear that term? Jesus calls Peter and the other disciples. He says, I'm going to send you to fish for people. Here we go, Jeremiah 16. And he says, their sins won't be hidden. They're not going to be concealed from me, and I will repay them for their sin. But God is not going to be under any delusion that they're sinners. No, he knows who they are. And he says, and I'm going to get them in verse 19, that they finally realize and admit their spiritual failure, their moral failure, their self-righteous failure, the defect and the hopelessness and the failure of their false gods, so that all the nations will come to the Lord. All the nations will turn to Yahweh. And he says, therefore, I will teach them. I will teach them my power, my might, and then they will know that I am the Lord. They're going to know my name is Yahweh. Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.